More than 1,000 years ago, people from the north began to appear along the coasts of Europe. They came in long, narrow boats with curved ends and sails that caught the wind. These were the Vikings. They came from what is now Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. At first, many feared them. They attacked villages, burned homes, and took gold. But the story of the Vikings is not only about war. It is also about trade, exploration, and survival. The Vikings lived in a cold and rugged land. The soil was thin and farming was hard. So they looked to the sea. Their ships were fast and flexible. They could travel across oceans or move through shallow rivers. With these ships, they reached places no one expected. They sailed to Britain, France, Russia, and even the Middle East. Some crossed the Atlantic and reached Iceland, Greenland, and North America, hundreds of years before Columbus. They were not just raiders. Many Vikings were also traders. They brought furs, wool, iron, and amber to trade for silver, silk, spices, and glass. Markets grew along the rivers and seas they traveled. Cities like Dublin and York began as Viking settlements. In the east, they traveled along the rivers of what is now Russia, trading with people as far as the Byzantine Empire. At home, Viking life was organized around farming, family, and local leaders called chieftains. Their religion was based on gods like Odin, Thor, and Freya. These gods were strong but flawed. They lived in a world of battles and choices, much like the Vikings themselves. Their stories were passed down through poems and carvings told by people called skalds. Over time, the Vikings changed. Some settled in the lands they once raided. They married locals, learned new languages, and took on new customs. Others converted to Christianity and stopped worshiping the old gods. Kings rose and joined the growing kingdoms of Europe. The Viking Age slowly faded, but it never fully disappeared. Archaeologists still find traces of their world: ships buried with warriors, tools hidden beneath the earth, and carvings that speak of distant voyages. The Vikings were more than fighters. They were builders, traders, explorers, and storytellers. Their reach was wide and their impact long-lasting. What began as fear became respect. What began as raids became routes of trade. And what began in the cold north helped shape the history of the world.